Now, when it comes to Josh Allen, who I think we all would agree with, no matter how you feel about the team, he's the most important player on this team. And you've been around him as much as anybody over this last 12 months or so since he was drafted last year. Do you see a discernible difference in him between this year and last year? And I'm not talking about his arm strength or slinging the ball around the field. I'm not talking about his athleticism. I'm not talking about his decision-making and how it'll obviously need to improve. His accuracy. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about his leadership and how he's evolving into not just one of the leaders, but the leader on this team. Do you see that with him right now? Kind of like Jim Kelly would be back in the day.
He's trying to be, and I think it's good that he has the confidence to go and act the leader, and he does a good job with it. I mean, he's been a quarterback his whole life, and he's not afraid to be the part and be the leader, be the example, be the first guy in line, be the guy doing the right thing. I mean, in terms of on the field, I'm always someone that looks at spring and summer practice with the largest grain of salt you can possibly imagine. I don't take anything from what you see here. I mean, as long as Allen didn't fall on his face, and he certainly didn't do that in the spring and summer, beyond that, I'm not worried about it. I want to see what he does in camp. I want to see what he does when, guys are hitting around him, even if they can't hit him. I want to see preseason for whatever that's worth. But, really, you're not going to get a good gauge on Josh Allen until, 5 or 6 or 7 starts into the season. I mean, this is a guy that's only had 11 starts in his career. I'm not going to, base any assessment on even that much of game time. So it's going to be a long time, I think, before we really get a confident feel of what Josh Allen's going to be. But from a leadership and intangible point of view, you got to be encouraged about the fact that he's not afraid to do it. He's not, even with a guy like Frank Gore or LaShawn McCoy or Cole Beasley or John Brown, guys who've been around every block the league has to offer. He is still the guy. Josh Allen's the one who steps out in front. Second to last minicamp practice this year, in the middle of practice, Josh gathered the offense around. He said, "Look, guys, I got something I want to say. We haven't done well. I haven't done well. Let's finish up strong." And whether that works or not, we'll see. But he is at least, grabbing the bull by the horns as a leader and doing whatever he can.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit right here. I want you to give me one semi-bold. We won't call it big bold, but we'll call it semi-bold Buffalo Bills prediction coming out of training camp that maybe fans aren't expecting right now. Maybe it's a player getting cut or somebody winning a job that we don't see happening right now at this point. So something semi-bold at least. What do you got?
I will say, I haven't thought about this yet, but at some point I was going to come up with one of these anyway. Right now, and I will reserve the right to change this in the next month or so,
Sure.
Cody Ford is not a starter when the season begins. And in fact, I'm going to say Cody Ford, barring injury, does not start all season. I was not a fan of the pick. I think the Bills have decent tackles with Deion Dawkins. I think Deion's got to get better than what he did last year. I think Ty Nsekhe can be a guy that can be serviceable on the edge. But my bold prediction right now, and I guess I'll limit it to this in terms of an actual prediction, but Cody Ford is not a starter week 1 of the season for the Bills.